PSA Part 2. Just, fun fact. Did you guys know that the modern progressive movement was largely inspired by an early 20th century movement called the progressive movement back then, too? You could call it Wilsonianism. That espoused many of the same policy prescriptions as the progressive movement of today, and whom at the time would say things like liberals are the enemy, because liberal meant something else back then, but you know, it's still different today from progressivism, despite the confusion between the two. And used to say people just didn't want freedom, and contrasted freedom from democracy. See, what freedom did people need from governmental repression when we continued to give them the veneer of having a say in what kind of government repression they received? You see, because the counter to progressivism wasn't democracy. It was republicanism. It was a separation of powers and balance of powers that made it difficult for the government to run roughshod over our rights, because the government couldn't get there. Like, it had to compete with itself and didn't really have the ability to just run our lives for us. But the whole idea of direct democracy just allows for 51% of people to decide that the other 49% of people have to bend over and take it. The only real difference between the early 20th century's progressive movement and today's progressive movement is back then, they still had the courage of their totalitarian convictions.